Hey everyone. Welcome back to Sports Tea. I hope that everyone is having a wonderful Monday evening so far. Tonight we are going to discuss the lawsuit at FS1, specifically the involvement of Joy Taylor, Emmanuel Acho, Skip Bayless, and Charlie Dixon. I'm gonna play some sound bites for you guys and we'll react to it. But before we do that, I love it if everyone can smash the like button on their way in and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. I do want to take a moment to shout out the amazing members of the channel that we have. Uh, Starting with Queen of Beats. Salute to Queen of Beats. She actually sent me a really cool intro song for the show, and I need to figure out how to put that together. But it was super cool. So thank you so much, Queen of Beach. You're awesome. William Wright, Meg XD, V Dub, Silvio Manuel, Prodigal, Tom Smithers, Zeno Omega, Kurt Nishimura, Raymond Chambers, Eden Jr., Danny Season, Debo4735, Jason Williams, Sports Facts, Jamie Costello, Coach MA, Lester's Banana, Wise Guy 23, Leon Jones, My Man Right Hand Cam, Main Event, Brown B, Lewis Matthews, Charles Hookah, Lisa Taylor, Brenda, Reginald McLendon, Panama 135, Saeed Gore, Spurs Ann, Ron C23, Blanco Smoke, T Bert the Twin, Relax and Focus, WW, KM, Big Al Master Chief, Jeffrey Guyot, Christopher Baldwin, as well as It's Not That Serious. Thank you all for being members of the channel. You continue to help Sports Tea grow and expand. I appreciate you all, and you mean so much to me. So, thank you so much. Who do we have tonight in the chat? You know, I'm a little bit early tonight. I know that I've been tardy, I've been absent, but I'm back. I'm back like cook crack, and I'm ready to rock and roll. We have Rap God Reloaded tonight. Salute to you. Gold Mind, Wise Guy 23 in the house. Jay, Cat Williams 2025. Seriously, like I thought that we were leaving kind of like this whole, just like freak nastiness in 2024, but it seems like it's carrying over into 2025. The exposures, they're going to continue. People are just being exposed left and right, and whether this particular story is true or not, we're going to discuss it. We're going to get into it. I think that Fox Sports in general has like a history of these kinds of allegations. So, we'll get into it. But yeah, let's see who else we have in here tonight. We have James Maxwell. I'm doing well. I was getting over a cold. I had no voice last week. It wasn't very good. So I'm sorry again for being absent on you guys. But like I said, I'm back. Nice to see you, James Maxwell. How are you guys doing? I wonder, like, there was some really good basketball on last night, and I know that the wild card NFL weekend was happening, but my gosh, the Suns versus the Hornets, that was a really good game. I really enjoyed that game. What Kevin Durant and the Phoenix Sun were able to do down the stretch in the fourth quarter, I thought was just like really good basketball. You want to hear about LeBum against the Spurs tonight? I mean, look, I I don't know if you guys can tell, but I have fatigues around talking about LeBron. I really do. And I mean, obviously, Wemby kicked his ass, you know, obviously, right? I actually know a couple people who went to the crypto center today and they were giving out jerseys. So they had Lakers jerseys on the seats for folks who went to see tonight's game, and it's just like, my God, imagine getting a Lakers jersey. My friend who went, he got James Worthy's jersey. And I know James Worthy is still here with us, but my God, he's just rolling over in his grave. Like the Lakers are a dumpster fire. And, I'll get into that tomorrow. Uh, we'll cook the Lakers' ass tomorrow if you really want. But tonight, I just feel like I can't put off talking about this FS1 lawsuit. It's out of control. But salute to you, ass catch up. Um, Freak show. I know Lakers got destroyed again. I mean, the Lakers are bums, guys. They're a bunch of bums. I just don't understand why we have to talk about them. Like, how many times am I going to come in here and say the Lakers are bums? LeBron needs to retire. JJ Redick doesn't deserve to coach. I mean, you guys just want to see pictures like this, right? You wanna see him sniffing his he's got his hands in his nose, he's playing with his nose tonight. We know what's happening, okay? Look at this guy. He's under duress, right? They lost again tonight. But anyway, this stream is not gonna be it's not about the Lakers tonight. It's not about the Lakers versus Spurs, and I know I should be talking about them, but I'll talk about it tomorrow, and not for that long. I'm so sick of them. Seriously, I'm sick of the Lakers. And shout out to Jeff Teague because he said the same thing. He said, "Hey, like I'm just sick of the Lakers. We all are." Yeah, I'll be honest with you, Rap God Reloaded, I can't I'm not going to get into that either. And the reason being is because this is a whole family. This is someone's family. This is someone's wife and kids. I just who knows how Savannah James is feeling right now. I know this is sports tea, but I just don't know if that's my cup of tea. I really don't. Like I'm not a huge fan of people like I'm not a he snitched. If this is true, if academics if what he's saying is true, then he's a snitch. And so is like Drake. Like I don't know, I'm just not big on this. I'd rather talk about what LeBron is doing on the court. I'd rather talk about, just I'd rather just talk about him as it pertains to basketball. I don't wanna get into, like, his family life. Like, I don't know anything about that. I don't know enough about the situation to say this is true or this is not true. So, it's really that's just not my lane. I'll let the boys stick to that. I'll let, the guys, handle their candle and sort of dissect that whole situation, but I just don't really think it's my place, and I'm really good with that. Um, look, they got their asses kicked as usual. And why did that happen? Because the Lakers are a bunch of goddamn bums. You know, they deserve everything that they get. My gosh. Sheesh. You guys are so funny. Salute to Bald Eagle. Bald Eagle. Thank you for being here. Ancient, futuristic, Dylan Dunham. Yeah, I mean, the LeBron, picture had to go. I told you guys, it cost me about 30 bucks at Kohl's. It was easy to just throw it up on the wall. It's not like they're making, Jordan memorabilia in stores. You can't get it anywhere. You can't get Jordan, you can't get Kobe. So, salute to you, Max. We max it up football, double tech. Wemby's definitely, an incredible player. I enjoy him a lot. I wish he was built a little bit bigger, but it is what it is. Salute to you, Isaiah. I really appreciate you, buddy. Yeah, man, I think that's 3 in a row. They're trash. Main event, tea time. I love it. Ass ketchup. I can't. I know. I know. I I would have to agree with you on that, but again, I think that they need to handle what's going on in their family internally, you know? Okay. Young Hollywood, nice to see you in here. We have Sean, SGR7. Salute to everybody in the chat. I really thank you all for being here. Really, really appreciate you guys. Let's go ahead and jump right into this Fox Sports lawsuit. I want to give you guys an overview. And we're gonna play some sound from Joy Taylor herself. It was like 3 months ago. She did a guest appearance on LaShawn McCoy's podcast, and he just like he's bringing up privilege in the business for women who are attractive. And I thought it was an interesting discussion. I don't know how real and genuine these comments are, but we're going to kick off the show with this because Joy Taylor, she comes out and she speaks on what it's been like for her to work as a woman in the sports world. So let's hear what she has to say, and then we'll dive deeper into this Fox Sports lawsuit, and we'll go from there. Okay. Oh no, you guys can't. Seems like you guys can't really hear it that well. Hold on a second. Can you guys hear this? No, right? Yeah, I don't think you guys can hear it. I'll play it for you a different way. Sorry about that.
I won't be doing my job, Joy Taylor. And I look at you like fam, you know what I mean? Like really good friends. And everywhere I go, everybody always asks me about Joy Taylor. Now a lot of it's like sports, Joy had a good topic right there, she beat y'all on this conversation. And then the other 75% be like, man, Joy's gorgeous, man. What's up with her? And I always get that question. I won't be doing my job, Joy Taylor. Right. And I look at you like family.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like really good friends. And everywhere I go, everybody always asks me about Joy Taylor. Now, a lot of it's like sports, Joy had a good topic right there. She beat y'all on this conversation. And then the other 75% be like, man, Joy's gorgeous, man. What's up with her? And I always get that question, and I ask James. I was like, yo, James, what's one of the most popular questions you got asked when you start getting on like primetime TV with Fox?
Mm-hmm.
He said the same thing. So if we getting that, I want to ask you, when you walk around the streets in LA or wherever you at, Pittsburgh,
Mm-hmm.
how do they approach you?
How do men approach me?
Women ask about you, guys, everybody. They love Joy Taylor.
Well, I appreciate that. You're not really asking me the question though, but
let's go get to it.
I can answer this without controversy. People are always very nice.
Mm-hmm.
For the most part, people just want to talk about sports, want to talk about their favorite team, want to talk about a take that we have, want to ask about you, want to ask about other people we work with, want to ask what it's like to work in sports. People aren't really rude. How the internet behaves is not how people act in real life. And I'm sure you both get this as well, because people talk all this cash online, be in the comments, woofing, and then as soon as they see you, I love watching you.
That is true.
So they're not like the negativity that's online is not in real life. I've had one person in my entire career, and I've been in the business since 2007. I've had one person say something negative to me, and he said he didn't like the sound of my voice, but he listens to the show every day. I was like, I got to respect that. Nothing I can do about the voice, and you still a listener, so I'll take it. And no one's ever said anything negative.
Well, let me ask you this though, since you brought that up. I do want to know this part, like the gift and the curse of pretty privilege, right? Because not everybody on TV looks a certain way, right? And I do want to ask you that, like I was telling before you got here, we was having like an innocent conversation, and I was like, sometimes, right, I be in the workplace or just hanging out, and a real gorgeous girl, she's toying with me, and like she's getting away with it. Like, for example, I might be asking her a question about something, and she's having her way with me. Like, basically, I'm going to say yes because I'm in her presence. Does that make sense? She's playing with the hair. She's chewing the gum a little harder than normal. And I'm all like, yeah, like, yes. So I want to ask you, like, in the workplace, right? Like, what's the gift and the curse of being like a gorgeous woman in this game?
I think that the gift is, obvious.
What's obvious?
Well, I mean, if you look a certain way, you have access to different things. I mean, that's how it works in the world. So I don't think that's news to anybody. So the gift is, okay, you have access to certain places. Okay, you walk up to the front door at the club, you get in. That's you don't have to pay for things. The guys always joke with me now,
like a DJ, like, yo, come, you and your friends, come on. Like,
yeah. I mean, yeah, and that's fine. That has its perks. In college, I would go out without any money and eat dinner and drink all night and get home safely. And I literally would not bring money with me. Because why would I need money?
But what about
but now in the workplace?
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, I mean, I think being traditionally good looking or whatever, because I always want to make sure that I preface it with that. I guess there's people out there who don't think that I'm attractive, and that's fine.
Oh, I haven't met none of people.
I don't either, but they'll be in the comments letting you know that. So for those people, don't worry. But for everybody else, there are advantages to it. And also, I work in a visual medium. We work on television. So there's a reason that we have a hair and makeup department, a wardrobe department. There's a reason why they put together marketing campaigns and they do Photoshop for the posters. Like, it's a visual medium. You're engaging people with that aesthetic. So that has advantages for sure. I think the negative part of it is particularly being a woman, because there's good looking men in television as well, and that has advantages.
For sure.
But being a woman is, sometimes people think that because you're being engaging, or you're looking them in the eye, or you're laughing at their jokes, or you're being kind, or giving them natural, normal attention, the imagination is, oh, she must be into me.
Oh, she's feeling me.
Oh, she's feeling me.
Okay.
When in fact, I'm really just literally speaking to you. So that's one part of it. That is
I just said hi. Like...
No, I mean, I did a rant about this on my podcast because I had enough this summer. I was running into a lot of situations where I would literally just be being a normal, nice person, and someone would come up to me and be like, "Oh, like, better get back over to your girlfriend. Like, she's gonna get upset." Like, I'm sorry, your girlfriend has nothing to worry about. I do not want you. I was literally just being a normal person. I'll be sure to be a bitch next time so that you.
Oh God. Okay. So like honestly, the clip was almost over anyway, but what's funny to me is that I thought that Joy Taylor was going to say something a little bit more impactful at the end, especially as she's giving an example. Like, really, Joy Taylor, a woman thinks that, or like someone thinks that you might want their man or their relationship's not safe. Like, I just thought that was so, I don't know. I just thought that was one of the most regular things she could have said. I felt like the conversation was actually low rent. I was expecting just more elevation out of this discussion, and there was really none. So I was disappointed in that. She's speaking on her experience, so it could have just been that simple. But I just feel like she's saying that she's been in the business since 2007. I just feel like, we're harassed every day. Like, these things, I just think she could have had just some more salient points, some more things that will like resonate a little bit more, but or even just something a little bit more inspirational. Joy Taylor, she has an interesting background. Her brother is what was an NFL player. He was recently inducted into the Hall of Fame, Jason Taylor. He was a defensive end. She she was in a she was in an abusive relationship, which she's spoken about. And I'm not saying you're never supposed to like get past that and like kind of let it go, but yeah, I just thought I didn't really enjoy this conversation between her and LaShawn McCoy. I thought it was kind of whack. But like I said, I wanna get into the sports and into the Fox Sports lawsuit, um, and like give you guys an overview of what this complaint is about and and kind of react from there. Hopefully you can hear this particular soundbite that I'm going to play for you guys. I just don't know why this is not loud enough. Hold on a second, guys. Let me see if there's something that I can do differently. I guess I might have recorded it low, and that's probably the issue, which is annoying, but I'll find it. Don't worry. Give me a second.
Seems to be business as usual for two of the biggest names.
Okay. So we'll play it this way.
Seems to be business as usual for two of the biggest names at Fox Sports 1. Accused of bad behavior in an explosive lawsuit, Skip Bayless, the former sports commentator, is still updating his Instagram with his latest football takes, even as commenters hound him about whether he really offered a former hairstylist more than $1 million to sleep with him. And Joy Taylor was back as host on FS1 show Speak as she faces accusations of racism and using sex to launch her meteoric rise to the top. We're going to take a closer look, though, at the allegations made against Taylor more specifically, and we're going to do that right now. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. 37-year-old Joy Taylor is being talked about a lot right now by sports fans, legal analysts, but not for her takes on the biggest games. No, because she is named as a defendant in a sweeping sexual and workplace misconduct lawsuit against her employer, Fox Sports 1. A former hairstylist, the plaintiff in this case, Nushin Faraji, has filed a lawsuit, both for her individual claims and in a class action lawsuit. And she says she knows Taylor. She did Taylor's hair for her on-hair hosting gigs for years. And at one point, the two were even friends. But Faraji claims Taylor took things too far. And now she says she created a hostile work environment. So to start off, as we talk about the claims against Joy Taylor more specifically, who is she? Who is Joy Taylor? Well, she was born in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. She went to Barry University. This is a Catholic school in Miami Shores, Florida, where she graduated in 2009 with a degree in broadcast communications. She was manager of the school's radio station while she was there. This is according to The Vibe. And eventually she got a job working as a producer for a Miami radio station known as 790 AM The Ticket. She went on to co-host a morning drive sports radio show before going national with a job at CBS Sports. And she was the host of Fantasy Football Tuesday and Thursday Night Live on CBSSports.com, according to her company bio. But then she joined Fox Sports in 2016 and became the moderator for Skip and Shannon Undisputed. This was a debate-style show featuring Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp, two very big personalities. And as we know, the two men would later have a public falling out. The show would later be canceled. But let's talk about Taylor, because Taylor has a very large social media presence. In fact, nearly 800,000 followers on Instagram. And she not only posts her takes on sports stories, but she also provides advice on pop culture, relationships, alongside glamorous travel shots, photo shoots. In fact, on at least 2 separate occasions, Taylor got a bit personal. She addressed her experience in an abusive relationship. In 2014, she wrote a piece for Miami's Community News in response to the video of football legend Ray Rice beating his fiancée in an elevator. She wrote, "I am not a weak person. I have endured years of abuse since I was a child. I never thought as an adult I would allow someone to take my power and control me. I defended him and stood by him. I lied for him. I threw out my morals and convictions. I was very blessed to have people around me who were stronger than me, people who pushed me to leave and reminded me every day, despite my depression and darkness, that I could take control and leave. And in 2017, on an episode of Undisputed, she talked about live on air about the struggle of being a survivor of domestic violence. But now she stands accused of using her sexuality to get ahead, and later her position at Fox Sports to bully a fellow staff member. You see, Taylor is mentioned by name more than 80 times in Nushin Faraji's civil complaint, which was filed at the end of last week in the Superior Court of Los Angeles. Hey, so our plan is to keep on following this Joy Taylor and Skip Bayless story.
My gosh. One second. So, guys, I want to start off by saying that it is very interesting to me that the lawsuit is largely about Skip Bayless, but the focus all over the internet and even YouTube amongst content creators is Joy Taylor and her involvement because of the salacious details. The hysteria surrounding Taylor is pretty out of control, I would say. I would say that it's pretty out of control. Um, she's got a social media presence, obviously. She's a beautiful woman and she gets a lot of attention, right? I like the fact that Jessie from Law and Crime shares her credentials. Um, and what she's done throughout her career, specifically before she made it to Fox Sports. She went to school for broadcasting and she's always worked as a woman in sports. She had a job on CBS before she went over to Fox. So now what are the allegations against Joy Taylor? I mean, like, there is some more info on the complaint. I do want you guys to hear that.
Workplace accuses him of sexual harassment, saying he made excuses to touch her or give her extended hugs, kisses, and she gave him a haircut each week. And she even alleges he offered her $1.5 million to have sex with her, an offer that she says she was mortified to hear quickly declined. But now we want to focus more on Taylor and this complaint. What wrongdoing is she accused of? So we're going to do a little bit of a deeper dive into specific allegations made against her. And by the way, at the time of this reporting, she has yet to make any sort of public statement about Faraji's lawsuit. And Ms. Taylor is back on the airwaves. We'll talk about that too. But let's get into the complaint. So the complaint reads, quote, defendant Joy Taylor is a media personality and television host at Fox. She co-hosts the show Speak on FS1. At all relevant times, Ms. Taylor was an agent of Fox and had authority to make decisions impacting Ms. Faraji's employment. By the way, that's important. Agent kind of context because you're saying her action should hold the company responsible. Just keep that in mind. Upon information and belief, Ms. Taylor is a resident of the state of California. Now, according to Faraji, Taylor had moved from Miami to Los Angeles in March of 2016, reportedly with the express intention of trying to get their time on Fox. And she would occasionally fill in if the regular host was out, didn't really have a permanent position yet. But Taylor and Faraji became friends. When that happened, Faraji learned that Taylor was recently married, but that her husband stayed behind in Miami. So at the time, Faraji had been working part-time for Fox Sports as a hairstylist, barber for Fox Sports talent. And then she was hired full-time in 2016. So this is around the same time that Taylor started to climb the professional ladder. Well, not long after arriving in Los Angeles, Faraji said that Taylor typically started to blur the lines between personal and professional. That's her allegation. So the complaint reads in approximately May of 2016, Miss Taylor asked Miss Faraji for a drink in Santa Monica. When Miss Faraji arrived, she found Miss Taylor with an older man. Fox Sports' executive vice president of content, Mr. Dixon, Charlie Dixon. As executive vice president, Mr. Dixon is responsible for overseeing all content production on FS1. Miss Faraji, however, did not know Mr. Dixon. When Mr. Dixon went to buy them another round of spicy margaritas, Miss Faraji asked who he was. Miss Taylor responded that he was just a friend. Following that, whenever Miss Farage Miss Taylor could drink some food, Mr. Dixon would either arrive with Miss Taylor or show up later in the night with Miss Taylor. He would always buy rounds of drinks and food. From their body language, Miss Farage suspected that the pair were sleeping with each other. Although this concerned Miss Farage because she knew Miss Taylor was recently married, Miss Farage kept her feelings to herself. One goes on to say, in approximately June of 2016, while at work, Miss Farage noticed Mr. Dixon in the elevator. Surprised by the coincidence, Miss Farage found Miss Taylor and told her excitedly, "The guy who always buys us our drinks was in the elevator." Miss Taylor quickly silenced Miss Farage, explaining who he was. Miss Farage was alarmed, warned Miss Taylor that such a relationship was unsafe. Miss Taylor told her not to worry about it. Miss Farage continued to be friends with Miss Taylor, but tried to distance herself as she considered the situation dangerous as well as morally wrong, as Miss Taylor and Mr. Dixon were both married. So then we go to July of 2016. Apparently, word started to spread that there was going to be this big show, this new show that was coming to FS1, starring Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp. I talked about it before, this undisputed show. Now, company executives have reportedly been looking for a woman to host the show as well. And according to Variety, they were looking for somebody who had some pretty serious TV experience. Well, the complaint says, therefore, it came as a surprise when Fox announced that Miss Taylor, who is a bartender and radio host in Miami with very little TV experience, would be the moderator of the new show, sports debate program Skip and Shannon Undisputed. According to a press release from Fox Sports, which is now been put on the website, President of Fox Sports National Network, Jamie Horowitz, made the announcement saying, "Joy loves fearless sports talk, national match with Skip and Shannon. Since joining the Fox Sports team, she's hosted several shows and proves she has what it takes to work the best." And Taylor herself said at the time, "I'm very excited for the opportunity to work with Skip Bayless, top fitness in the business, and Shannon Sharp, legendary NFL tight end, Hall of Famer. I love a good debate. I look forward to sitting with these two and seeing what happens every day." But the lawsuit reads, Mr. Bayless later disclosed to Miss Farage that he didn't want Miss Taylor on the show. But Mr. Dixon was adamant that Mrs. Taylor should star. Think about that based on the relationship between the two of them. The complaint says at first, Mr. Dixon arranged a dinner with Mr. Bayless and Miss Taylor, where she arrived with provocative clothing and acted in a provocative manner. And that did not change Mr. Bayless's opinion of Miss Taylor. Mr. Dixon asked him to approve of her as a favorite of him. Reluctantly, Mr. Bayless agreed to do so as a favorite of his friend. So it seems there wasn't immediate love between some of Fox Sports' hottest stars. The alleged relationship between Taylor and Executive Vice President Charlie Dixon was reportedly maybe not as secret as we thought. But then the lawsuit says that around 2016, Miss Farage attended a dinner with Miss Taylor and her husband and Mr. Dixon and his wife. During the dinner, Miss Taylor's husband became suspicious that Miss Taylor and Mr. Dixon were having a sexual relationship. Soon after the dinner, Miss Taylor's husband found evidence of the inappropriate relationship and divorced Miss Taylor. So all of this.
Sheesh, guys. Honestly, there's just so many details of this lawsuit. Like, so I want to give you guys like sort of a synopsis of it. So essentially, what Long Crime goes on to state in this video essentially is that Joy Taylor, not only was she having an affair with Charlie Dixon, who was also married, uh, she she was married herself. Her husband found out about the affair and divorces her. Then, like, she's continuing to, have this affair with Charlie Dixon. She even gets engaged to another sports analyst on the network who also finds out about it and breaks off the engagement. He threatened to even expose their relationship to the public. And apparently Charlie Dixon paid him off not to report this. And, this woman, Faraji, she is lodging loads of complaints against Joy Taylor, basically saying that she bullied her at work because of her position of power. And that's where there could be a power dynamic there on her end. But, she doesn't just talk about how she bullied her. She talked about how she also sleeps with Emmanuel Acho to get recommended to the show Speak. And she even allegedly told Faraji that, um, you know, once Charlie Dixon was of no use to her, she would make a report that he forced himself on her. Then there's more complaints that, this woman Faraji, they're at parties, they're, I guess at company parties, and Charlie Dixon is, sexually harassing her, fondling her, grabbing her. And she tells Joy Taylor about it, and Joy Taylor basically tells her to get over it. She tells her a story about another woman who is anonymous in the lawsuit about how, like, basically she was, removed from her duties, that Charlie Dixon has harassed other women at work and, relieved them of their work duties as well. And, basically Joy Taylor was stating she's not going to be one of those women. She's going to take control of the situation and, and use this relationship that she has with Charlie Dixon to not only to keep her job, but to continue to move up in the company. So, I think that the lawsuit is obviously incredibly damaging, whether it's true or not. This is damaging to, just the working environment at Fox Sports. It can't possibly be fun to go into work every day, if you're working on any of these shows. So I think that that's interesting. Something else that I found to be hilarious is that you need a lot of TV experience to be a moderator for these sports shows. Give me a break. I mean, I've never recognized any moderators on any of these shows prior to them being on that show. Molly Kurim, I have no idea who she is before First Take. No idea. Like, if you guys know where she worked before, please let me know. I'm not saying she's unqualified. I'm just saying that for the role of a moderator on these shows, it just doesn't seem like you need all of this experience. Her coming from CBS prior, they called her a bartender. She was working for another network prior to coming to sports. I'm sorry, to Fox Sports. So I just I don't understand that narrative, quite frankly. But the lawsuit, it goes on and on and on and on to state even more damaging claims. And basically, what Joy Taylor is being sued for is for bullying this woman at work based on her disability. So she discriminated against her in the workplace. And I feel like there's a lot of info to digest in this lawsuit. I think the lawsuit is awful. And obviously we need to hear the evidence in this case. Here's what I'll say about what I've heard so far. And there's a lot of details and a ton of specific instances and very specific interactions. This woman, Faraji, she talks about going to dinner with Joy Taylor. She talks about being friends with her, that they were friends. She confided in her. She talked to her about these relationships. And, you know, there's just a lot of very specific examples. And just because someone gives specific examples, it doesn't mean that they're telling the truth. But I have to say that it's a very damaging lawsuit for sure. True or not, like, the details are they're embarrassing. They are just awful. I mean, I am a manager of people, and it's not easy to manage people, I have to tell you. Disgruntled employees, they're known for making reports and alleging all kinds of things, right? I mean, we've seen people do that. I think that being a woman in the workplace has a variety of challenges, and then when you throw in being a woman in sports, there's so many layers there, right? There's additional layers that come with that. I mean, many people believe that women have no place in sports, that we just simply don't belong. I wanna say this, and I wanna get this out of the way. I wanna be very clear and plain about this. Um, if Joy Taylor, if she was targeting men of power at work to get ahead and threatening legal action as a ploy to protect her role at the network, then she is dead wrong and should be exposed. harassment, and RAPE, these are very serious things and they should not be played around with, especially when women are begging for people to believe them in these situations. In particular, Black women. When situations like this happen, we want companies and whoever we're speaking out to, law enforcement, whomever, we want to be supported and we want to be believed. The race and gender war that currently exists can only be further set on fire when a woman is caught lying, and it creates an even larger divide between men and women. I mean, many people are focused on Joy Taylor's sexual history. And if she was, in fact, having sex with her co host, Emmanuel Acho, and the network executive, Charlie Dixon. And what's interesting to me is that people, it's like they're completely abandoning or they just flat out don't understand power dynamics. What Law and Crime failed to share is the power dynamic between Joy Taylor and Charlie Dixon. Even if she seduced him and Emmanuel Acho, let's just say she did. Let's just say that Joy Taylor was just running around seducing the men that were above her in powerful positions that were able to give her a job. Let's just say that that was true. But like when you think of that, she is not and was not in a position of power at those times. They were in the position of power. They were above her in order to help her to get a job. And if she believed that she needed to sleep with someone to get hired, guys, that is textbook sexual harassment. If she continued a sexual relationship with Charlie Dixon or Emmanuel Acho because it would help advance her career, like she's a direct report. Someone who works on my team right now, if I were to be caught in a sexual relationship with them, I would be fired. They would likely get to keep their job because I am being trusted as the manager, as the executor, and I have a fiduciary responsibility to create a safe environment in the workplace. That's literally my number one job. The accountability is not on the person who reports into me. I can share like a personal story with you guys real quick. This happened a very long time ago to me. But I was working in finance. It was when I first graduated college. And before I graduated, like maybe 6 months beforehand, I was applying to jobs. I was applying to a different investment banking roles. And I wanted to network with people that I already knew in the business. And one of my friends connected me to one of his friends who claimed to be a trader, and he asked me to come by his office, during the day. It was bright outside. It had to be, I don't know, around 12 noon or so. I get there, the place is packed with employees, and I go into his office and we're just chatting about life after college and shooting the shit, no problem. Within 5 minutes or so, he gets up from his desk and, he comes around to my chair and he asks if I have a boyfriend as he's putting his hand, on my shoulder. And I was completely mortified. I was uncomfortable. And I told him that I had to leave because my boyfriend was waiting for me in the lobby of the building. I ran out of there so fast. There was probably a shell of my body still sitting in that chair while I was already like at the elevator. And now things like this happen to women all the time. Like sexual harassment is not just men doing it to women either. Powerful women are demanding sexual favors from men at work as well. This happens in the gay community, trans people. It can happen to anyone. Power dynamics are very real and they can be very dangerous. To me, the only thing that truly matters here is if Joy Taylor was discriminating against Faraji, the hairstylist, due to her disability. Sex at work happens all the time. Quid pro quos happen all the time. Is it right? No, absolutely not. And it does need to stop. If this is all true, then Joy Taylor was qualified to be on these shows, and she still needed a boost from the executives by allegedly sleeping with them if the report is true. If this report is true, then what Joy Taylor was feeling like, "Hey, I'm qualified for this role, but if I don't sleep with this person, then I'm not gonna get this job," which is totally crazy. And I think that it's an absolute indictment on just like where we are as a society. I believe that there are plenty of women currently in sports, in the sports world, who are qualified to be there. Plenty of women. Joy Taylor is one of those qualified individuals, but she may have been using sex to get ahead and to gain power at Fox Sports. I want to know, what do you guys think? Is it FS1 or is it Freak Show 1? I want to know. What do you guys think? And I also I want to read some super chats from the Drew show. She really can't say anything, Dominique, when she's been thirst posting on Instagram for about a decade. I mean, what do you want want to say? I mean, look, as far as her thirst traps go, I don't think that that has anything to do with her potentially sleeping around at work. You know, a woman could be posting thirst traps, but be totally professional at work, in the workplace. So I don't know that those two things correlate. Who knows? Salute to you, Spurzan. Thank you so much for the 4.99 super chat. They always blame the women, never question the men's behavior. Men made the playing field. I I mean, take a look at this lawsuit, case in point. Skip Bayless is named on this lawsuit, and he's just been popping up with his wife on his sports podcast. You know, on his YouTube channel, he's doing episodes with Ernestine, which is really interesting to me, not addressing these allegations, having nothing to say. And I get it. They're probably told not to speak out, you know, that this is a legal issue, that, you know, let the attorneys handle it. I would feel the need to say something, and nobody's saying anything. And I think that the silence is speaking so much louder. People are more inclined to believe these issues, you know, this lawsuit, because no one is saying anything, not a soul. They're deleting evidence, they're deleting videos, they're, you know, deleting pictures, shout outs. You know, Emmanuel Acho, I believe, was praising Joy Taylor in some video. He deleted it. There's just, it feels like a smoking gun. It feels like they are being exposed because it's true. It feels that way to me. But I just don't know. And, you know, it seems like we're not going to know until the case is underway and more evidence is revealed and comes out. But I mean, Joy Taylor, Emmanuel Acho, Skip Bayless, you know, Skip Bayless is no longer with Fox. So, you know, I don't know how compelled he feels to, you know, answer to this or to not. But, you know, everybody at Fox is still reporting to work like nothing happened, which is really interesting, right? Um, oh no, that's awful. I'm sorry, Drew. Sorry about that. I mean, look, guys, I think that this situation with Joy Taylor is disgusting. Okay. And she is beautiful, right? She's a beautiful woman. And I hope that these allegations are not true. I really do, because it does set women back. It does hurt, you know, just it hurts what we've been building, and the credibility that we've been building in sports. Absolutely. And, you know, men can sleep around and do all these things, and it doesn't hurt their credibility. They're expected to do that. But when a woman does that, you know, that means that she slept her way to the top and blah, blah, blah. So, there's a lot of layers to this. And yeah, I mean, I do want to hear what you guys think. Marcellus Wiley, yep, salute to you, TC12. I think, yeah, Marcellus Wiley, he's got a lot to say about it as well. Um, it's going to get very ugly. That's what I believe. I just believe this situation is going to get really ugly, and it's going to be that way for some time. So, Brother Juma, salute to you. It's egregious if Joy felt she had to bump bodies to get hired. It's odd for her to ignore the hairdresser complaints, but Joy is secondary. Skip and the boss need to be addressed first. I mean, I think that Fox Sports is a mess. And I think that everyone needs to be investigated there. There's no one that shouldn't be investigated. And I don't like the focus on Joy Taylor because they are all wrong. They are all bad. Anyone that slept with her and then gave her a job, that's crazy. They are more wrong than her actions. It's just, but she will be under fire. She's going to continue to be under fire. And look, if she was doing these things, I think it's disgusting. And it does need to be exposed, and it does need to come out. And like, we need to figure this out, you know? Victim blaming is a very real thing. Keep your legs closed on the job, viral basketball. I hear that, right? I hear you saying keep your legs closed on the job, but what about men? On the job, should they be, you know, should they be sleeping with anybody on the job? No. And if you're in a position of power, that's going to be highlighted more. And that's what makes it like instantly sexual or harassment. When you are in a position and when you are above someone, the person below you, they cannot decide. They're not in a position to say yes or no. They should be able to, but unfortunately, they can be retaliated against. And that's how it starts. That's how it starts and ends. You might get propositioned at work and feel like you can't say no because your paychecks are going to be impacted, your livelihood, how you might support your family. And many people have gone through this, men and women. It happens. This is a very real thing. But I do want to take one phone call tonight. I have, another 2 to 5 minutes or so, but let's try to keep the call short. I want to hear from you guys. I want to know, like, what's on your mind? How are you feeling about this situation? Is it FS1 or is it Freak Show 1? Where do you guys stand? Do you think that the media is focusing too much on Joy Taylor and not kind of like keeping a balance? Thank you for calling Sports Tea. Talk to me nice.
Yeah, it's me, Drew. Just like,
Hey, Drew.
all this is so. I think it's salacious. Fox has been through this before with the news division. Roger Ailes and everybody there was accused of it. It's not just Fox. What's his name over at NBC? Remember he had the button, the guy in the Today Show in his office. He got kicked out, but all that stuff. And I don't know if any of this stuff is true, but I want to make this one clarification about this disability. She says she has a disability rating with the VA for PTSD. It doesn't mean that the disability, according to the AMA, anything like that. She has a disability where she has, have special. It's not a physical disability, and according to HEP, you're not allowed to disclose what kind of diagnosis you have. So her coach wouldn't know anything about this disability unless she's going around saying, I got this disability rating for the VA and I get 70% out of you out of this bunch of months. but they're two different things, and it's thrown into the lawsuit, which I see kind of odd that she has it thrown into the lawsuit. It seems like that's just like she's grasping at straws. I think at the end of the day, a lot of it turns out to be just office talk and gossip. And even at the end of the day, the executive VP of a department is an executive VP of the department. And if she has her directions as an executive of the show, and if there's a thing where it says, well, the executive of the show is the one who hires people, it doesn't matter if she sleeps with the VP, and their head of relationship was consensual. And at the end of the day, if she's consensual, he says it's consensual, there'll be this large investigation. Nobody says anything. He'll probably moved on. She'll stay with her job. I don't think it's wrong that she pictures herself in bikinis on for the past 100 years on her Instagram. She can do what she wants. She will go to an awful lot, but she must enjoy it. Who doesn't? And personal life is her personal life. I don't care if she had sex with so many people. That's her personal life and her prerogative. It doesn't mean that those people were taking advantage of her either. I can't jump to the conclusion that this is a thing where we're saying that is. This woman makes assumptions of it, but she has no proof of it. And it would be retarded for Joy Taylor to say, should say, be idiotic for her to say, yeah, I was doing it because I was trying to get a job. Because how's that going to affect her? And like she's bringing a lawsuit against Fox at some point, but why would she do that? She's getting paid millions a year. It's salacious. It makes top headlines. Everybody's clickbaiting off. Everybody's making some money off of it. Everybody, for this poor woman, I don't know what is wrong with her. She seems just like a person who's grasping strong because her job's up, but I don't know. I just want to make a distinction. PTSD, she has through the VA. It's something that probably nobody knew about, blabbing about it at work. That's all I got to say. What do you think? You said what do you think?
So what I think about what you said, I think, you made some really good points. I think, PTSD, I don't know, quite frankly, how it was classified at work, how her quote unquote disability was documented at work. If anyone, whether it was HR, knew about it, there was also, there was basically when she complained to HR also told her that when Joy Taylor came into the room that she should just leave, that she should just walk out when Joy Taylor comes into the room, which, that's not an appropriate reply for HR, if that was what happened. She also stated that Joy Taylor was making fun of her accent, that, she was making comments, that she couldn't understand her, that she needed a black hairstylist. This woman, she is making a lot of complaints against them, and I mean against everybody. And I don't really know what to believe. I do think that it's laid out with a lot of examples. So she's not just saying things and she has no story behind it. There's always some kind of story or some kind of detail. And I do think just surrounding what you said about the sex being consensual, there is no such thing as consensual sex in the workplace when you are sleeping with your boss. So,
legally, that's a policy. That's a policy in the company. But if you take that to court, it's a different thing altogether. They have direct supervisor and an indirect supervisor.
So sex can be consensual, right? But it's still considered sexual harassment when a boss, someone above you, is sleeping with a direct report. And a lot of people, I don't think
that's legal thing. It might be a positive.
A lot of people don't think of it that way, but that is what it is.
I think legally speaking, it's not that way because there's consent. People get married to people who were their secretaries in corporations forever in a day.
Yeah, because there might not have been any policy around it. So, Drew, there might not have been
No,
any
people do it
policy.
today. A secretary could get married to a boss today, and it won't be that. Somebody has to complain and file the complaint. So Joy Taylor, a third party can say that's sexual harassment.
Somebody has to file a complaint. somebody's filing a
Yeah, the
complaint.
person
So
who's having the two people.
correct. So
What are
what
the two
I'm
people
trying
having
to
the
say,
subordinate has to
so
do
what
it?
I'm trying to say is this, is that when you have a scenario, someone's above you and someone's below, and someone makes that complaint, there's nothing, you can't say that it was consensual. You can say that, but they
Yes, but
complained.
has Joy Taylor
Everything.
a
Listen,
complaint?
listen to me for a moment.
Has Joy
Listen,
Taylor made a
listen
complaint?
to me
No, she
for a
hasn't.
moment. She didn't
Yeah.
make a complaint. Somebody else did. And what happens in the workplace, it doesn't just affect the two people that are doing it. So something can be sexual harassment, something can be inappropriate, something like they can get in trouble for this at work if it affects the working environment or anyone else, or it could have
That's the
affected
policy, and that's
somebody.
you get in trouble
Yes,
based
but until
upon
I'm talking. So
your
hold on,
your
Rod,
your
because
term.
when you're talking and when you talk, I need to be able to speak.
All right.
Okay. So yes, when people are at work, like if you and I are having an innocent conversation, let's just say, and we're talking about politics, let's just say, right? And then there's someone else in the room that doesn't like that conversation, they're allowed to complain. It doesn't have to be the person that I'm talking to. It doesn't have to be you that complains. It could be anybody in the room. So this Faraji woman, even though she might not have been having sex with Charlie Dixon herself, she might not have been having sex with Emmanuel Acho or whatever, but this situation was affecting her, so she claims, and that's why she is suing. That Joy Taylor, her position that she gained as a result from sleeping around, basically garnered her no job. Her hours were reduced,
Okay.
and she was removed.
Let me
from
clarify
of
this.
that show.
The HR policy of a company, say Fox, is different than what you say legally stuff. In a legal situation, that doesn't, it has to be directly
Yes,
affected by the person who's
If
doing
there's
it.
policy, you're
No,
wrong, Drew. So I'm gonna mute you because you're wrong in this moment. I don't think you do.
lawyers
You
about this
actually
situation,
don't know
but
what
in
I
a
am.
lawsuit.
You actually don't know if I'm a lawyer
Okay.
or not. But I
Okay,
will tell
okay,
you
okay.
this.
You might be a lawyer. I don't think anybody's winning lawsuits on the fact that they were witnessing somebody's sexual relationship and it caused them harm.
You don't have to think that. I
And
know
for example, in a company, a media company, Andy Cohen was accused and on film of making sexual remarks towards a person who was directly underneath him. This got investigated by the company he's with, and they found nothing he did wrong. Okay, that was a media company. He was that. So that was somebody who said I was directly
policy
that's
policy at a company, it does affect lawsuits. So again,
okay.
like if a company has a particular policy as to
I'll tell you this right now. Lawsuit to a fruition where this woman makes any money off this lawsuit because of what happened between Joy Taylor and an executive, I'll give you $1,500 in a donation. And it's not going to happen, and I won't give you $1,500. But if at any point, if you're still on YouTube and she gets money because Joy Taylor had an affair with anybody in that company, I will give you $1,500.
I did not say that this woman was going to make money, Rod. You're not listening to me. You're not listening to anything that I'm saying.
Okay, or if anybody gets fired in that company because of the relationship, I'll give you $750. If anybody gets fired because of this lawsuit,
first of all, somebody is going to get fired. If any piece of this lawsuit is true, somebody's going to get someone's going to get fired. They're going to lose their job because company policy would
fire and resignation are two different things. If somebody is fired, that's not being. If somebody resigns, that's different.
Somebody resigns, what do you
put in a
think that they
different
were
company,
told
that's
to
something
do?
different. There's all kinds of things that can happen. Just because of how you feel about this in a certain kind of way, it makes you feel.
Right. So
it's Fox all the way through his lawsuit until he chose to resign. He didn't get fired. So.
Oh, and Roger Ailes.
Have a good day.
Okay. Thank you, Drew. You as well.
I'm not saying.
Yeah. He didn't get fired. Like, oh my gosh. Jesus Christ. So, guys, what I was trying to explain on this call is like, how sexual harassment is classified, how you know, it actually is treated. But I wasn't able to do that. But thank you so much, Rod, for your call, and salute to you and the Drew Show. Thank you for calling Sports Tea. Talk to me nice.
Hello? Oh,
Hi.
sorry. Oh, hey. Oh, hey, Nick. I didn't know I was going to get through it. I just tried to try a little something. But, I don't know what the hell that dude was arguing so hard for. But what I wanted to say is that, I guess the angle that I'm that I'm going with is I'm not disputing the power dynamic. And I don't think people forget about that. I think it depends on the context. If it's somebody they feel a certain passion against, they definitely remember the power dynamic. But what I would say is that I think the entire I don't want to have to do this, but I think that sports media, entertainment world kind of lends itself to that sort of stuff, that kind of hanky panky. I think that, I mean, ESPN has had, you know, a long history of sexual harassment and all that kind of stuff going on, as well as racism. And Fox Sports 1, I mean, yeah, it's definitely Freak Show 1. I mean, there's, you know, where there's smoke, there's fire. I can promise there's more than that going on. So I do believe that, so while I do believe the power dynamic is real in the sense that, you know, those days they should be held accountable. If this is true, I'm definitely disappointed, because I had a super crush on Joy Taylor, and I'm disappointed if she would just gaslight and just totally diss this woman like that. At the same time, I guess she wants to maintain her career and sort of be a part of that, keep her lifestyle and all that. Like, you know, so I think that there was definitely some mutual understanding. I don't think he was just like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I either have to, I think she understood that. Her brother is Jason Taylor of the Miami Dolphins. She wants to be in the crowd. And it says also a lawsuit, I was going to go and, you know, say that he did, you know, he sexually assaulted me when I don't need him anymore. I mean, that sounds so cliche, and they could almost make a movie about that. It just sounds too stereotypical. I think this kind of stuff, there's women who have these kind of thoughts all the time. I think there's men that say, I can't wait to be the boss so I could, you know, get some head. I just think that these kind of things happen all the time. And I think this is part of the industry. Sorry, I've been rambling for a while.
No, I mean, I really appreciate your call and your comments. I think, do you mind, do you have YouTube on in the background? I'm hearing like an echo.
No, I paused it now. It's not an echo anymore. It was.
But like, I just think that it does happen all the time, right? And I mean, there is so many layers to this situation. And I think that if Joy Taylor if she was a part of this, if she was doing, you know, any of what this woman is accusing her of, she needs to be held accountable. And likely, like, I could see her being fired, but I could also see other people being fired from Fox as well. There's no way, if Joy Taylor was in a relationship with, you know, Charlie Dixon, that, you know, like, caused a lot of this. I just don't see how both of them are not removed from their positions. And I just think the whole thing is really unfortunate, because it hurts women. It hurts, you know, women at work, and, you know, how, you know, we're going after these roles. We want to be in a field that is dominated by men, and, you know, this is just a bad look. This is a horrible look for women in sports, and I truly hope that this is not true. And I tend to believe that when people make a complaint such as this, that something is true. I don't know what's true. Some of it might be true. Some of it might be lies, or maybe none of it is true. But I just,
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
you know, the power.
I would say this. Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say, well, I mean, I hear what you said, the power dynamic. The only thing I was about to say is that the only silver lining that is left, because of what you see happening in Hollywood and in the industry, is that it does promote more women like you to be independent, independent minded, and to be, you know, to be in the age of the internet. It allows people to be able to sort of do things independently, where they don't have to, go by the company line, do the company thing. Because once you get in that situation, that's when all this kind of stuff can happen, because people get in their clubs, people get into a lifestyle, you know, all your friends are media people. You don't want to be the odd one out. So, go, suck off that executive so you can get in this situation, girl, da 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 da. I think that there's a lot of that going on. And I just think that this is just an example, just like with the music business, for people to be independent, like what you're doing right now. Even though you might not get a nice, Fox budget or ESPN budget, you'll be independent. You don't have to be in that situation.
It's just it's not good. This situation is awful. I really hated hearing about this. And Joy Taylor, like,
Yeah.
just the way, like, I don't even really remember her being engaged to that analyst. I forget his name, but I remember him being on TV and then all of a sudden not being on TV. So it was just like,
But I thought she was at Earl Watkins.
I think, yeah, where is he now? I don't know where he is.
Yeah, he disappeared off the face of the earth.
That's what I'm saying.
He's a coach.
Like, just disappeared. So
Yeah, so there's definitely something going on.
yeah, he was with the Phoenix Sun, right? Like, he was with the Phoenix Suns, I think.
I think so.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks a lot for taking my call.
Of course. And I really appreciate you calling in. Great takes, great commentary. I hope you have a wonderful evening, okay?
You too.
All righty. Bye-bye. Thank you for calling Sports Tea. Talk to me nice. Is this Funky Town?
Yes, it is. You know it is.
How are you doing? How do you feel about this topic? Do we have FS1 or Freak Show 1? What are your thoughts?
Well, they definitely have that, and whoever I actually woke up. To tell the truth, I didn't even realize it had happened. I'd fallen asleep. Then I hear somebody talking completely out of the left side of their behind about stuff they don't know about, because it's called an adverse work environment. That's what it is. That's what the lady who's not the person that's being, even though she was herself harassed, right? She was harassed because, in the case of Bayless, according to what she's alleging, he made sexual advances. Okay, so there was an environment of quid pro quo, which is a term, legal term that's used when it comes to, it's not just power dynamic. There's a quid pro quo. Is also placed in the whole situation.
Right. And
Now, I know this stuff
talked about
because
the quid pro
yeah, I didn't. I'm sorry,
but
I didn't hear that part.
yeah, no, I talked about that. And so, like, essentially what I was trying to explain to one of the callers that was calling in is that, just because something did not happen to someone specifically, so like supposedly this woman, Ms. Faraj, she might not have been like, she wasn't having and carrying on sexual relationships, but she's saying that this was going on around her, which created a negative working environment for her,
Right.
which ultimately led to her not having a job anymore with
Exactly.
the company.
And the bottom line is she didn't, and then she didn't get a job. There, right there is an example.
Exactly.
Now, it's something
And that's what
that
I was
she's going
trying
to
to
have to
explain.
prove.
That's what I was trying to
Right. She's going to
explain
have to
Rob.
obviously prove that in court. But bringing up a company's policy and all the other stuff, that makes absolutely no difference whatsoever once it goes to the legal.
And the crazy thing is
Company
that company
policies-
policies, they do help. They do matter. That's also what I
No,
was
they
trying.
they matter. They matter they're supposed to be, but if they're not being done properly, if they're not being affected, like as the
Well, I
rule
want to
that they do.
explain, and I was trying to explain this to the previous,
Okay.
one of the previous callers, is that like, so when a company has a policy in place that actually helps a legal proceeding, because there was a policy in place that the company violated.
Right.
And
Right.
so that's
Right.
how it ties back to a legal case. And so when there's policy,
Right.
a
No,
company is
no.
supposed to follow that policy. When they don't, they are even more liable. And all it would do
Right.
is
That's where the
lend
company gets put more
evidence.
on the hook.
Correct.
Exactly.
And that's what
Right.
entitles
And that
people to money. People don't go to court for things all the time. They can go to, equal opportunity employment. They can go to, Department of Labor. There's so many avenues to get an employer for violating a policy where you can get money and
yes.
be rewarded something, without even going a legal route, because they can
Right.
sense that, hey, if this little,
Right. There are commissions
complaint,
and
yes,
there
but if
are
a particular
right.
complaint is accepted by the, EEOC or something like that,
EEO.
then
Right.
then likely it's not going to fare very well for you in court. So you might as well just pay out whatever it is that they're asking for. And
Which
so,
is what they try to do. The companies try to do that to keep it from going public, to keep it from going outside of the house so they can deal with it versus, like you say, it going to where it's at now, which is public. And now they look stupid because, like you said, Roger Ailes, which is still Fox News, but it's Fox, his whole, they had a whole, decades long situation where he was not only hiring women of a certain uh, uh, look, and then using his power to uh, get sexual favors and all that other stuff. That became a culture in Fox News. Same situation with this. If the lady can again, if the woman can prove this is what the situation, how she got let go from the job because she decided not to play that game, then of course she's going to get paid for it. So whoever says he's going to give you $1,500, I guess you better get ready to write that check because people. I mean, people don't understand like adverse work environment is real. Like it's not even a
the thing is, and what the Drew show and what Rod was trying to explain to me was that like a lot of times people get away with this. To me, what he was saying is that people get away with sexual harassment at work. Where he was wrong and where we fall different on is that he was trying to say that like legally these things do not, they hold no like basically he was trying to say that there's no legal case here. There's no legal
right.
ramification. And
Then he's incorrect.
if these things are true and if these allegations are true, there absolutely are legal ramifications. It's just how a case is laid
Yes.
out. Just because a case is, presented poorly or just because someone lost a case doesn't mean that there are no legal ramifications or hasn't been any in the past. So,
Right. You can sue a ham sandwich, as they used to say. Or you can sue. No, you can. Like you can sue for for anything in this country. And I'm not saying good or bad. What I'm saying is when it comes to this, and one of the reasons why it motivates me is because as a person who was in the military, one of my jobs was as EEO or sorry EO and also what we call sexual harassment. So for me, like I went to training for this. Like I had to go like with the whole this is the reason this happens, this
I
happening.
mean,
And
honestly,
people misunderstand.
a lot of people get training in all of their jobs. Like if anybody has a serious
Right.
job and they work in, a corporate environment or any place where there houses men and women at work, you're likely to have a sexual harassment training, a workplace harassment training, all kinds, and you have to do this yearly in many states and in many roles and jobs. So,
Right.
I just
I
think
was a trainer. So that's what I'm talking about. Like to me, I'm like when you're saying, this is not how this works. No, this is, you're thinking, yeah, the direct power dynamic is one situation, but when it's an adverse work environment, that affects the entire uh,
Funky Town,
business
there's so
slash whatever.
many, honestly, there's so many
Right. There's
layers.
so many different
There's so
ways.
many layers
Right.
of this.
So
And I
many
was
ways.
just talking about, and I know that you came into the show late, but what I was talking about are just the variety of layers that affect this case. I was talking
No,
about,
absolutely.
what I feel like people are not speaking enough about, which is the power dynamic. They were talking about this long crime person, Jesse, spoke on the power dynamic between Joy Taylor and Faraji. And there is a power dynamic there. She was her
Right,
friend,
right.
but she was working for her as a hairstylist, and she was empowered to have her removed from that show, right? Because,
Right.
maybe she was
Mhm.
complaining about who knows what's true and what's not. But what I felt was missing was the power dynamic that no one was talking about between Charlie Dixon, Emmanuel Acho, who were in positions of power to give Joy Taylor another position to help her to continue to move up in the network. They were in positions of power, whether she seduced them or not, they gave her those jobs. So, Charlie Dixon, this executive that's forcing her onto all of these shows, like this is not, it's wrong. He should be fired for doing something like that.
Exactly, because he's basically showing all the other women in the company, this is the pathway to success.
Exactly. It's
Versus
not just
this
about
is
Joy Taylor and
on your
Charlie
talent.
Dixon.
Right.
It's
It's
about
everyone
everybody
else.
in the
Exactly.
company. It puts everybody at risk 1,000,000%,
Right.
whether it was consensual
Right.
or not. And that's exactly what I was trying to explain to the Drew Show. And so
Right.
thank you
Yeah.
so
If you're
much for calling in,
you
Funky
absolutely
Town.
got it.
Great points.
You got to
Great.
have a good one.
You too. I
Hey,
really,
hit
really
that like button,
appreciate you.
everybody. Not a
Thank you.
problem. Have a good one, everybody. All right.
Alrighty.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Run the likes up for me, guys. I really appreciate everybody being here tonight. I know you wanted me to cook on the Lakers and these bums, okay? And I'll address them tomorrow, and I'll address some other games as well, because there's still good basketball being played. That's what I want you guys to realize. But I needed to talk about this FS1 lawsuit. I felt that it's really important, to address and to put this out there for us to have some dialogue and some meaningful discussion about it. I want to thank every single person that called in. The Drew Show, thank you for your call, and thank you for your comment. I need people who are going to challenge me, people who are going to say things that I disagree with, so that we can have a dialogue and educate others as well. So all of these things are really, I think, just good for the audience to hear as well, so that we can talk together as a group and share some of our experiences, things that we know to be true. And I do want to salute to everybody in the chat who is engaging about this topic. I didn't see anything crazy written, nothing too bad. I want to give a special shout out to Spurs Ann. It's not hard it's not easy being in the audience sometimes when we're speaking on topics like these things. It could feel a little bit uncomfortable, but you held it down today, Spurs Ann. Thank you so much. Shout out to all the moderators who were holding me down in the chat tonight. Really appreciate you guys. You're all awesome. And I think another super chat came through that I'm gonna read. Salute to you, Juan Marston, for the $1.99 super chat. Title 7, term uses hostile work environment. Absolutely. I mean, negative work environment, hostile work environment, bad work environment. I mean, for when people are sleeping around at work, that's exactly what that creates, is a bad work environment, a hostile work environment. Other women are out here believing and thinking that, hey, this is what I need to do in order to move up in this company, or this is what I might need to do just to keep my job. So, not good, right? And I mean, similarly, if you have favoritism at work, someone might not be sleeping with somebody, but favoring employees is not typically allowed either, right? And most companies, a company like Fox, they're going to have policies in place for these things. They have a whole HR department who clearly is not doing their job. And if none of this is true, at the very least, something happened to Faraji at work where she was made to feel uncomfortable. And she was, and she has taken a lawsuit out against Fox Sports. She was obviously super unhappy. So whether this is true or not, I don't think it's a good working environment at Fox Sports. It can't possibly be a good work environment if women are feeling this way. They're coming out with these complaints, lodging very detailed lawsuits, pages long, about this company and what it's like to work there. And look, it could be all a lie, right? But whether it's a lie or not, the complaint, I think, is just super damaging. And, it would definitely give me pause if I'm thinking about working there. So, and I love this comment right here. Most HR departments don't do their job, and half the time they're in bed in some sort of way. That's 100% correct. They are in bed with the company. Literally, HR goes to bed with the company because their job is to prevent a lawsuit. Their job is not to care about employees. People think that HR is so nice at companies. They're not. They don't give a damn about you. All they care about is protecting the company. Their job is to make sure that the company is not sued. Their job is to tell managers and executives how to treat people so that things like this don't happen. Their job is literally to help managers and people who are managing people figure out how to avoid situations like this. But HR is 1,000,000% there to protect the company. They don't care about the people who actually work there. And if anybody tells you that, I have a very expensive Golden Gate Bridge to sell you. If you want the Bay Bridge, if you want the Richmond Bridge, you just let me know which one you want. But HR is definitely not there to protect people. So thank you all so much for tonight. Really appreciate everybody's commentary. Like I said, lots of great comments and engagement tonight. I really appreciate you all. Do me a favor. Let's run up these likes, guys. How many likes do we have tonight? Let's see. Let's see. We're at 136. I'm not mad at that. Thank you so much. You're all so awesome. Seriously. Really appreciate you guys. Okay. Let's all get to bed. It's time. And I will be back tomorrow night. I'm going to go live. I want to talk about basketball, guys. I'm really dying to get back. I've really missed you all. So please have a very good evening. If I can go before 11 again, I will, but I should be on time tomorrow. So you want to hear Black Jobs? I love it. I love it. Let's see. Let's see if I can find it. I had it like recorded as a soundbite on my I had it recorded on my my mixer. Yeah, I think I have it. Here we go. I got it. You guys ready?
Who's going to tell him that the job he's currently seeking might just be one of those black jobs? Those black jobs. One of those black jobs. Those black jobs. One of those black jobs. Those black jobs. One of those. Who's going to tell him that the job might be one of those black jobs?
I'm here to do my black job. I'm here to do my black job.
Those black jobs. One of those. Who's going to tell him that the job might be one of those black jobs?
The Attorney General.
Might be one of those black jobs.
Vice President.
Might be one of those black jobs.
President.
Might be one of those. Who's gonna tell him that the job might be one of those black jobs?
The Attorney General.
Might be one of those black jobs.
Vice President.
I love it. You might be right about that, Colin Bailey. I just wish, and look, we don't know how they're being directed. Okay, she could be being directed by Fox Sports. Hey, shut your mouth about this. Keep your mouth shut. Okay, or we're going to fire you. So, they could have been very sternly warned. You will get fired if you speak out about this case. Do not. We will fire you immediately. So I genuinely don't know, of course, we all want to hear her say something. We want to hear any of them say, even Skip Bayless is saying nothing. Shannon Sharp is saying nothing. No one's saying anything. So kind of crazy. But like I said, guys, thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate all of you. Take care, get some rest, and I will see you guys tomorrow night. Okay. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much.